Content warning. This is a horror game and not intended for all audience. Please visit our website if you need a specific list of content warnings. This also contains flickering image effects as well as a parallax effect that on rare occasions causes motion sickness in players. If either of these effects cause health issues, you can disable them in game's preferences.
We will meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die. Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Let's Play Slay the Princess the Pristine Cut Edition. I kind of forgot what we did last episode. I guess we did finish a chapter, so that's nice. This is coming off a very near Oblivion run, which means that we won't have a lot of choices in the long term. I think what I want to do is get I want to get the beast this time and take that into the wild. But the problem is that
You'll find the princess.
Part of me wants to go about the route to get her to get the beast without breaking her chains, but the thing is that runs so close to getting witch.
She will. We're not going to ignore him.
And I think I'll just need to go about it the proper way.
The interior of the blade.
We can't take the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of don't let it fool you.
I think I'm here to slay you.
Great job, you've given away the element of surprise. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay.
Hi.
We've got to talk a bit.
Okay.
If I'm the first person you've seen in a while, what have you been eating or drinking?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
I wasn't kidding when I was here to see and here to kill you. You're apparently going to end the world.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us, whoever sent you to slay me, claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't...
She has a point.
So this shouldn't be about this is about how messed up this whole situation is. Do you really think I can even end the world? We both know that if there's people we can't trust...
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk.
What's your name?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
So a British TV kids show called The Secret Show actually had this thing where there were a lot of characters whose job profession was also their name. You had Professor who was working for the good guys, us. You had Doctor who was the head of the bad guys, them. You had Professor's mother who was Frau, and then you had his brother who was Maestro. Just Maestro because he never actually finished his song. And there's actually an episode of doing his first, I think it was an opera recital, to try and lure him out of hiding because they desperately needed his genetics for nonsensical reasons, really, but he did eventually end up being Maestro Maestro. I don't know, that just makes me think of... Every time I see Princess, Princess, I think of that. Is Princess your name?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted.
We have to go back for the blade in order to get the... Okay. Let's finish this.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she?
Close the door. We can't let her escape.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job.
I'll wait.
Do you want to play a waiting game? I've been down here a long, long time. I'm very good at waiting.
You do your best to patiently wait her out, but eventually, exhaustion starts to set in. Come on, wake up. We can't fall asleep down here.
Keep waiting.
Wait for as long as you can, pushing yourself to stay awake and stay vigilant. But you can't outwait someone who's been waiting for as long as she remembers. You barely even realize that you've started to drift off. Pain tears you from your sleep. The princess is upon you, ripping into your flesh, unnaturally sharp teeth and claws severing arteries and digging into organs. There's nothing to be done. You're already half gone. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Beast.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
She's gonna kill me again.
Again? People don't die twice. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened, then something else must have trapped us here. You're not trapped here.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth. All of this did already happen. Why should I listen to you and bother with anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. Let's say for a moment that you died last time, which we did our best with and yet you still died, didn't you? And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? All the more reason to keep our wits about us, should we even return to the cabin. We could find a safe little hole somewhere instead. You have to go to the cabin.
Fine, proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature? I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell. That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me, maybe. The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The blade is your implement.
What about the mirror?
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. Maybe he doesn't see it. Much like he hasn't seen what's already happened.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the blade because there is a specific way we want to go about doing this one.
It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Oh, don't you hear that clinking? She's in chains again. We're fine. Of course you move. She's not going to give you a chance to...
Picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're
Yeah,
by a
that.
gust of air
You're about to
disturbed
get
by the sudden
what?
motion of a
You're about to get
massive body.
got. Don't do that.
Princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs. So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
What do you want?
I want to swallow you whole, and I will get what I want. You have no exit. You have no hope. You live and die by my whims, and my whims alone.
Don't ask her what she wants, just slay her. Is that all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. Some specifics would be very helpful. She's just a princess. Don't overthink it. She is clearly not.
It's going to kill you because you're a threat to the world. I'm starting to believe that's true.
Oh, for the love of... You've given up the game. Great. All that will do is hasten her victory.
So many useless thoughts run through your head. Thinking. You'll never hurt me if you keep thinking.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble. Keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
Yeah, I think if we pick the explore option, then it'll end us with us getting got, so... Survive?
moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
Yeah, run for the stairs.
Now's our chance. Quick. And then what? We need a plan. We need to figure out something. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive. As you turn to sprint for the stairs, you feel the air shift. You instinctively glance behind you just in time to see the princess lunge from the shadows, more unhinged and dripping, eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured. I guess that's it then. Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time. The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Man, she really had quite the conversation with the cabin, didn't she?
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
I understand it, and it understands me. Talking is for those who don't know how to listen.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slop from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
I don't think we can talk our way out of this. We are drowning in death. There's no more space for words.
Dig with a steel claw.
Though you have little room to move, you use what strength you can muster to drive the blade forward into the thick walls of tissue digesting you.
I can feel you tearing through me, but are you swift enough for it to matter?
You're pulling your hands to bang in as the princess desperately throws everything at the cabin door. Your flesh screams as your reddened, spongy body is hit with fresh waves of blistering acid.
You can't hold me forever.
You slice again, deeper, rooting through her meat with the tip of your blade, until at last it finds her beating heart. will can never truly exceed the limits of the flesh.
Okay, so clearly, if we want to make that count, we have to start digging immediately.
Though you have little room to move, you use...
I can feel you tearing through me.
Your body is violently...
Kate,
Keep digging.
You slice again, deeper, rooting through her meat with the tip of your blade, pulling the tank to bang as the princess desperately throws everything at the door. Your flesh screams as your reddened, spongy body is hit with...
you can't hold me forever.
Slay the princess.
Though your body is dissolving, eroding into unrecognizable shapes, your will drives it forward. You have a target, and you will strike it.
We're too late, aren't we? This isn't survival. This is spite.
No, it's something better. It's fulfilling a noble destiny. Your lone, functioning arm lashes out, stabbing up towards the princess's heart.
So you found a way to kill me. Then we'll die together, and I will see you again soon.
With those prophetic words, you do not draw another breath, your body tangled and melting in the cooling folds of the princess's flesh. Everything goes dark, and you die. But at least you've saved the world. I hope.
And this is the ultimate way into the wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge.
Ooh, we're going to have to wound her here.
His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
Can she hear us if we talk?
I can hear everything, little one, but you don't have to be afraid of me. There's no place where you end and I begin. Nothing can hurt you here. Not anymore.
Oh, I like that. I don't feel so small anymore when you put it like that.
That's because you aren't small, even if you act that way. We're both so much more together than we were apart, and we can be so much more still, vast, unfathomable.
Man, you wouldn't think that the beast would be quite the manipulator here.
You're not mad at us for stabbing you in the heart, are you?
No. Are you mad at me for swallowing you whole?
Nah, not really. It all seems so petty right now.
And Opportunist is back.
She ate you. And now you're convinced that you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
This thing watching us. What is he?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you.
That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
Do nothing.
You can't just passively exist forever. Not with her. That isn't how it works. The princess ate you last time. Stop passively vibing with a literal predator and remember that you're enemies. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
I'm not going to like this, but I do need the extra content.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the fear and the hunger and the pain. Not after being something as beautiful as this. Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
I can feel a thumping. A heartbeat.
Like a distant terror that keeps getting louder the more we pay attention.
Please, stop. If you let it in, we'll fall apart. Don't look at it!
I think we should hear out whatever it is that's trying to be heard. I like to take all options into account before making any big decisions, and what's the harm in just listening?
Gaze at the terror.
Please, don't make us remember how I was.
And just like that, you start to fall apart.
I can remember it now. I didn't like being eaten. I'd forgotten how much it burned. And the air was so hard to breathe. But she didn't care. She didn't care at all.
All of that digging with the knife, and we didn't even get to win. That was hard work. I wanted to win. And what's the point of being part of a larger whole if we're not the one in charge of that whole? As you remember the terror and pain you felt at the hands of the princess, you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
No, I devoured you. I won. I put things back the way they were supposed to be.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be.
Oh, that's why she shows up like that on the memories page.
At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
I feel empty. Don't you?
I feel safe. She isn't dangerous anymore. We could leave her. We could both live.
Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this?
You have to. You know you have to.
I never wanted to kill you, not really. But we can't be the same thing as each other. I had to put an end to whatever happened to us. cut her free.
Devious little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. And that other thing is... You'll just have to wait and find out when it happens. Ignore him. His words only confuse us. Just do it. He's weak. Thinks he can boss us around when he doesn't have any authority. We're clearly the ones with authority around here, so we can do whatever we like. You're tired, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm... fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. Good luck getting her out of here.
I didn't think you would do that after everything. It's so cold without you.
You don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay, just trust me. We've been here before and you always get scared. Apparently, if every time you take... It's the end for you but not for me, and then you get to the end and you slay the princess with the help of the hero, then you get an alternate version of the Red Sun ending? I don't know whether I'd want to put myself through all that though.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. That thing reeks of death. If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Huh. Opportunist says, if they think it's bad, I'm with them. I'm trying to remember if there's ever been a time... What did he say about the mirror when it was just opportunist? I don't actually remember. I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. I'd like to be somewhere nice. Finally! We're going places.
You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave. But you need to see what's in it. You've withered. Find yourself in the long quiet once again. Scarred and beautiful heart, or carrying a... Curious and beautiful, scarred and beautiful. Separate before ending it all, so there is extra to be gotten out of that, I guess. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
What do you think of this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, a memory of what she used to be, bound to the wounds of distance and time. She will make for a scarred and beautiful heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace.
Have you figured out what you'll want when we're finished?
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me.
Honestly, I've already forgotten what I asked you.
I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
So to make life easier on myself, this is where I'm going to cut the episode. I'm going to go back next time, the next episode, so until then guys, take care. I'll see you all around.